Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Hailey. I'm so happy that you're here. So recently, one of my videos about content creating, how to become a content creator slash influencer, has gotten a little bit of traction, and therefore I've gotten quite a few DMs. Lots of them just thanking me for the video, but a few asking me to elaborate on some topics. And one of those topics is how to charge and what to charge, how much, all that kind of stuff. Payment and charging for your work as a content creator or influencer. Specifically micro influencer, I would say this is before you get big enough to have a manager and you're just starting out and you're kind of trying to figure out what to charge and you don't have anyone to help you. So I wanted to film this video because when I first started my journey a year and a half ago, I was also just as confused. I definitely didn't start it with the intent on making money, so when that started coming about, I wasn't really sure anything, what to charge, how much, just very confused, and honestly had no idea who to even ask for help. It's not like my parents knew the right rates to be charging as a content creator. It's not something they grew up with and know the correct rates, and I think that's most people. It's a very new industry and rates and charging is just not very spoken about. So I wanted to create this video to bring some light to the subject, I guess, talk about it, open the conversation up, and just go through what I charge, why I charge, everything like that. So I'm gonna go into detail about all the different types of content I do and create and charge for, and why I charge for it, because it's more than just doing paid posts on Instagram, and there's a lot of background stuff and a lot of things to talk about. So if I don't answer one of your questions, make sure to DM me or comment down below, because I'm sure I'll forget something, but I'm gonna do my best to try and answer how to charge as a content creator and what to charge. So I hope this video helps, but let's get into it. So like I said, I started off this journey definitely not intending to make it a career or even get paid or anything out of it. It was very much a fun thing. So when I started getting free stuff like gifted products, I was really excited about that, and to me I thought that would be the extent of it. But one day, I think it was maybe 6 months into my influencing journey or my content creating journey, I had a brand ask for if I could do a paid collaboration with them, and I was very overwhelmed and very excited, because this was payment for something I was already doing for free in my mind, and I was doing for fun. So to get a payment out of doing that was really exciting to me, and I had no idea what to charge. So I tried to do some research, but I really was just not sure what I felt comfortable with and not sure what was the industry standard, and I didn't really have a community of people to bounce ideas back and forth from, or did I have the resources like this video to really refer back to. So I kind of went with my gut, and I think I charged $50 for both an Instagram post and a integration into one of my YouTube videos. At the time, I think I had 2,000 Instagram followers and like 500 subscribers, so I was very nano. I had barely any people watching me, but $50 to me seemed like a lot, because not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, but a lot because I was already doing this kind of content for free. So to get a gifted product and money on top of it was really exciting for me. So yeah, that was my first start at a paid collaboration. From there, it kind of snowballed, and I started to realize that there was a huge industry that I had just stepped into. So I started trying to turn the gifted collaborations into paid collaborations, and I did this by no longer accepting gifted collaborations for a dedicated post or with dedicated deliverables, which means I no longer accept a product in exchange for something. Instead, I will accept a product with no deliverables, no expectations, and if I love the product, I will still post about it. But I set that boundary with myself because even though it's hard to stop accepting gifted stuff, it differentiates yourself from other people, and it helps you really step up to the next level of content creating, in my opinion. So once you set that boundary of no longer accepting gifts for all these things, and you realize that your time and your experience are valuable and worth money, and that these products don't exactly pay the bills anymore and you're spending all this time, then that's when you're on the next level of content creating. So of course when I did that, I was like, what am I even going to charge though? Because I didn't know what the industry standard was. So I did a bunch of research, and still to this day, this is what I find the industry standard is. So for right now, according to all the micro influencers I'm friends with, in communities with, we all seem to charge around 4% for a static feed post. So 4% rule is charging 4% of your following. So for example, if I have 8.5K, I'm going to charge 4% of 8.5K for a feed post. Now, I would say to always charge more for video content. So reels, TikToks, anything like that. Videos seem to take quite a bit longer, so I would really recommend, and what I can see most people doing, is charging 6% for any video content. So 6% of your following for video content. And I would say that that's the standard right now for the rates, and most people are charging the 4% or the 6%, and I would say it's a comfortable rate that I'm happy with, and it really just depends on the brand and the content you have to provide. So when I say it depends on the brand, personally, I like to use kind of a sliding scale. So let's say I get approached by a really small business, female owned, close to where I live, really lovely, and has been following me for a while, and approaches me with a collaboration. I can tell that they really value my work and they really want to work with me, but as a small business, I know that they probably don't have the largest budget. So the fact that they even want to work with me means a lot, that they're gonna use a big portion of their budget to work with me. So because of that, I usually do a little bit less for smaller brands, whereas if I get approached by a multi-million-dollar company, a huge name, I will probably charge a little bit more, just because we know that they have a huge budget for influencer marketing. We know that they can afford it, and we know we're just kind of like 1 in 1,000 that they work with in a year. Even though yes, they value my work, it's a little bit different because they work with thousands of creators. So charging a little bit more for a bigger brand seems a lot more justifiable, whereas a small brand doesn't have as much of a budget, but knowing that they still want to value your work makes me really happy, and I just feel much better and more comfortable, and just happy to give them a little bit of a discount. It also helps build a relationship. I think with smaller brands, you can probably have a closer relationship and maybe more of a long-term relationship if they can see that you're helping them out. It's mutually beneficial, and yeah, it's just a kind thing to do. So as we were talking about before with the 4% rule and the 6% rule, let's say someone approaches you and they want 1 reel, 1 Instagram post, 1 story, and yeah, they want a bundle. So you could do 4% for the post and 6% for the reel, and then you have a story price, which is less than both of that. And you could just add all that up and charge that exact amount. What you would charge for a static, what you charge for a reel, what you charge for a story, and just add that up, and that's your price. You're totally welcome to do that, but something that I like to do, and I feel like a lot of people appreciate, is if a brand comes to you with a set, something I like to do is create a bundle deal for them. For example, I might give them $50 off if they go with 3 things instead of 1, because they get more content out of it, I get a bit more of a paycheck, but it just is mutually beneficial, and they really appreciate a little bit of a discount, because you're getting a bigger paycheck than you would for just 1 post. So it kind of encourages them to go with the bigger deal because they're getting more bang for their buck. That's just something when you're negotiating to consider, and something that I really think helps secure a job is giving them a little deal / discount on bundles. And yeah, so far I've been talking mainly about paid sponsored posts. So this is the typical, most well-known way of being paid on Instagram and social media is a sponsored post. That could be via YouTube. Sometimes I have brands want YouTube integrations, TikTok paid sponsors, and Instagram paid posts. These are probably, like I said, the most well-known. However, for me, they are not my most lucrative. The side of content creating that I think is way less known is UGC slash actually content creation. So UGC stands for user generated content, and this is something that I would say makes up 95% of my monthly earnings. So the little paid posts that you see on my Instagram are great, but as a small content creator with not as many followers, I can only make that content so pricey, and it's just with the posts that you put on your personal page, you have to be very, very careful about how many times you post a paid ad, how many times you share different brands, and what kind of brands you want to promote, because the audience you have are very, you need to make sure that they trust you, because that really helps with your sales, and really helps for future collaborations. So something that I try to do is only stick to 1 or 2 paid collaborations a month, just because I don't want to be like this constant influx of different things that I'm promoting. I feel like it loses a little bit of trust. It's kind of annoying, and if I see someone posting a paid collaboration every single week, I'm a little bit sus that they're just in it for the money, and I'm not sure if I really trust them. Therefore, there's kind of a limit to how much I can actually make. Whereas with UGC, which is user-generated content, I can do as many as I want with as many brands as I want, and you don't have to worry about your audience seeing it. So user-generated content is essentially when a brand approaches you just to create content for them that they can use on their social platforms or for ads, etc., that you don't have to post at all, and it's just content that you make for them. I work with several agencies that kind of have me as one of their content creators, and if they kind of book me for jobs, which means that they'll send me a brief and say, this brand wants this brand wants that, and I'll get the job through them. I don't even have to go looking for the job. It just comes straight to me. I get a couple of those a month, and it's really great money. And so if I'm working for the agency, they have prices and rates that they pay for the content that we provide them. So they'll tell me a job, they'll give me a brief, they'll give me price for the brief, and I just accept it or not. So those prices I can't disclose because it's something in the agreement. It varies a lot depending on the kind of work that I do. However, if someone approaches me to do user-generated content outside of an agency, I would say I charge about half of what I usually charge for a sponsored post. I do this because, one, I don't have to post it on my own feed, so I don't have to worry about necessarily making sure that it fits in line with my feed, my aesthetic, all that kind of stuff. And two, because the content I do for them is a lot more stripped back, so it takes a lot less time than I do for my own feed. It's mostly on my iPhone, and it's just short videos, 15 seconds, and they use it for Instagram ads, Facebook ads, TikToks, Reels, all that kind of stuff. So I would say the content is a lot less time consuming to create, and therefore I feel comfortable charging less than what I would charge for a sponsored post. It also encourages more frequent collaborations in that way, and they'll use me a lot more as a content creator. Not only that, but I would say that kind of hits the industry standard, and so I would say about $200 per 15-second video is a good indicator on how much to charge for user-generated content. But when charging for user-generated content, you have to make sure you're taking into account that this brand is going to have the rights to use this content for a while. So you do need to make sure that you're not only charging for your time, but the rights that they have to use the content. So many things to consider when doing user-generated content, but I do feel like it's one of the most lucrative ways because you can do as many collaborations as you get a month and you don't have to worry about your audience seeing them or seeing conflicting opinions about different products. It just is a great way to use your skills as a content creator, use your presence to create a little bit more income. I would really recommend, if you're a small micro influencer and you're maybe not getting as many paid brand deals because they don't value your following as much, in your rate card show that you offer UGC, because you might have an incredible camera presence and you might have a certain look that they're really looking for. If you're a male and they need a male for skincare, if you have a diverse history or background, they might need that. So I really recommend pitching yourself in your rate card as doing UGC because it could really help secure some deals if you don't necessarily have the following that they want for a paid post. So yeah, I know that was a lot to take in. I probably missed some things too because I just go on tangents all the time. So if you have any other questions, if some things weren't clear, please, like I said before, DM me or comment them down below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. But I hope this video helped you guys. I hope this helped you, and I'm really excited for your careers to take off in the micro-influencing journey. And yeah, I love you so much. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a like if it helped. Subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.